Hey guys, this is Jade. So I am here to do basically just a review of a lot of stuff that happened this year in 2016 and just Korean entertainment period. Um so as you guys know, I did my top 30 songs of the year. Man, that was a struggle to do. I like revised that list so many times. Even when I was like making the video, I was still revising the list like last minute. That was like hard, but I think what's going to be even harder is picking like the top albums that I enjoyed this year. Like I literally, so what I'm planning on doing is just like listening to a lot of the albums that I may have not listened to in a while to kind of get like a, another view of the album overall and see if I want to put that on my list or not. And I have a lot of albums. I have like 33 albums to like consider. So child's gonna be a man. It might be like my last video because oh lord, that's a lot. So yeah. So like I said, this might be long because I do have a lot of stuff and I have a lot to talk about. So I might end up breaking this up in parts. So let me get some water. And let's get started. Okay, so start on something good. So this year we had some first generation groups to have comebacks this year. First was Turbo. Turbo is the first generation group. The member you may know, well, most people would know, is Kim Jungkook. Not Jungkook from BTS, but Jim Jungkook. He is mainly known for being on Running Man, but he originally is in the group Turbo. It's a three-member group, all guys, and yeah, I think he was in the group when he was like 20, and he's about like was he like 40 now, but he's like really, like I said, he's mainly known for being on Running Man when he was on Running Man. So yeah, him and the rest of the guys had came back for the 20th anniversary and they released the album and they actually performed at KCON LA this summer. So that was really cool. Another group that came back was SCS, which is SM's first girl group. So like with them and Finkel, now Finkel had Lee Hyori and of course other members, but with those two groups and other groups at that time, if it wasn't for those girl groups, there would be no Red Velvet, no Twice, no G Friend, Oh My Girl, no Girls' Generation, or Brown Eyed Girls, 4 Minute, like any of these girl groups that's been out or that's out now, they would not even exist if it wasn't for these girl groups. So the three of them got back together because I think they're having their 20th anniversary next year. So I think they released a single a few months back, but I think they're gonna have like a full comeback come 2017. And another first generation group that has came back is Cheskis. Now I know I always pronounce the name wrong, so excuse me. I'm gonna just say Cheskis or Jeskis or stuff like that. So excuse me. They were originally on DSP, but they disbanded around 2000, 2001, and they came back on, now they're on YG. And there was a lot of talk about them joining YG and stuff like that. And so they had their comeback concert like sometime in the summer, which did really great. Or I seen clips from the show, so they did really well. And it was crazy how like the age demographic was so wide. Like it wasn't just a bunch of older fans; it was even younger fans as well. So that's great. And they came out with a single, 3 words. I think Tablo worked on a song with them, and they re-released their album. They re-released the album, but I think they're gonna have like a full comeback come 2017. So basically, expect full comebacks from Sheskis and SCS. And talks of 2017, another kind of like first generations, idols and stuff, or second generation idols. Lee Hyori is coming back next year. I'm so excited. Lee Hyori hasn't really had a comeback until I think like last time was 2013 with her album Monochrome. And so yeah, she's coming back. And Rain, which I kind of consider like the king of K-pop. You can fight me on that. I don't give a damn. But Rain is coming back with his solo, I think January 15th. So I'm definitely excited. I don't talk about Rain much on my channel because when I started doing my channel, he wasn't releasing any stuff. Like his album Rain Effect had came out, but this is when he was on Cube. And just solo acts on Cube definitely don't do all that hot. So unfortunately, the album didn't really do all that great. But I definitely a huge fan of Rain, and I have a couple of his albums. And now that since he left Cube and has his own like one man company, I'm excited to see what he's gonna bring. So this is gonna be exciting because I am a huge fan of Rain. I do absolutely like Lee Hyori. So yeah, I know people consider I would consider her the Beyonce of K-pop. Let me explain. Meaning she was in this big girl group. She left the group, or like the group ended up disbanding or and something like that, and she ended up being like this big solo artist. That's what I mean by like the Beyonce of K-pop, because it's kind of like the same thing Beyonce did. She was in Destiny's Child, the group broke up, and she is now one of like the biggest singers in the world. So that's what I mean by like Beyonce of K-pop. But I'm really excited to just to see new music from them. So yeah. So next, here comes some drama. So this year was, for some reason, just all of these actors was caught up in these sexual assault cases. First was Park Yoo-jin. Y'all guys know he's in JYJ slash TVXQ, but he is also an actor. He's currently, I think, is still in the military, and story broke. I don't remember exactly the month, but it was definitely earlier this year. And it was like multiple women were accusing him of like sexually assaulting them at like some club, and just a bunch of drama with that. One person retracted their story, and then I think he ended up being found like not guilty of the cases. Like it was just a big hot mess. And so now that this has popped off, now I think he's supposed to come out the military sometime next year, maybe. I don't know, but I feel like since this whole scandal popped off, he might end up like not being seen for a while after he leaves, because just how big this scandal got. And like other actors like Lee Minky, I know who he is, but I don't think I've seen anything he's done. Like he's done like dramas and movies and stuff like that. And the singer Jung Jun Young, I forgot the name. It was like he had a band. The original name was JJY, kind of like for his name, but I think the band's name now is Drug Restaurant. Interesting name. And he got caught up in some scandal similar sexual assault scandal, but that was, I think, like I said, stories got, all messed up and stuff like that. So there was like quite a few actors this year that got just caught up in sexual assault cases, and child, that was a mess. And it was just like so many. It was just like kind of like back to back, and it's like what the hell? Like I don't know. I don't know these people. I wasn't there, so I can't say whether they did it or not, but it's just really crazy how like all these stories just came out of nowhere. And then I guess just to more drama. So we're gonna go on to K-pop company drama versus Cube. Cube has just been on this downward spiral this year. First with the CEO leaving, and then coming back, and various, and multiple staff members of Cube leaving the company as well. And it's just been a complete mess. And like, disbandment of, 4 Minute, and then Chansung leaving Beast, and Beast leaving Cube, but I'll get to them next. So yeah, it's just drama with Cube, and then it's like A-Pink not even associating with Cube anymore. They're just under their company now, because I think their company was like a sub company, so I don't really think they have any affiliation with Cube anymore. CLC hasn't really popped off, and I know that they had some drama with one of the members being in Produce 101, and then when CLC came back, they couldn't really show her in the video because she was on the show, blah blah blah. They finally debuted Pentagon, even though there was some drama with that because of the drama with the president and staff members, but they finally ended up debuting Pentagon finally. And BTOB finally has gained some popularity through like their ballad tracks, so they're mainly known for doing like more like upbeat or like mid-tempo songs. So yeah, and it's like that's just so yeah, Cube has been a hot mess this year. SM hasn't really been a lot of drama this year, honestly. I mean, besides the Tiffany drama with her and snap with her being on social media and the whole being in Japan or putting the Japanese imperial flag kind of like a thingy. I forgot what the hell you want to call those things on Snapchat, like those little I don't know what the hell you call them things on Snapchat, but those things on Snapchat. And while it was like what was it? I think it was what day it was? Oh, it was Korean Independence Day. So that was a huge drama. Lord, poor Tiffany. But as I think as of yesterday, I seen she's back on social media, back on Instagram. So that's fine. And Taeyeon with this whole drama with the mamas, but I'll get into that later. And they ended up, I guess you could say they kind of settled their issues with Tao, because now they settled, they kind of settled with Chris and Luhan. And with the thing with Chris and Luhan, they're still under SM, but they don't have any, promotions in Korea. So basically, whatever money they make in China, they have to give some to SM for the next 2 years, I think. For the next 2 years, they're still under contract with SM. I think they still have to give money to them with the money they make in China, which is stupid. And the same was with Tao. When he left, he still had to, I think they said that he owed them money, some other shit, and again, just like Chris and Luhan, Tao had to give SM money for the stuff the money he was making in China. But as of recently, they settled I guess they kind of settled that with Tao, so he doesn't have to pay SM any more money that he's made in China and stuff like that. So that's a good thing, because I just felt like it's ridiculous that like they don't have any promotions. They're no longer in the group. They have absolutely no promotions in Korea whatsoever. And the fact that these guys are like making albums and doing movies in China, doing movies in Hollywood, and so on and so forth, and still gotta give them money for it, that to me is ridiculous. So I'm hoping things settle with Chris and Luhan to where they don't have to give SM money for the work that they've done in China. But yeah, so there's that. And then YG, oh Lord, YG. Yeah, it's Lord, YG. And then it's like basically kind of like with YG, just the 2NE1 disbandment, Taeyeon leaving Winner, basically mistreatment of Winner and like other artists, and And there's like a whole bunch of rumors that like YG has some affiliation with the president. Her drama, girl, it's just a lot. It is a lot. And then it's like there's rumors that like YG has something to do with bomb scandal. Like I said, these are whole like those are like conspiracy theories. So I have these are absolutely no truth to these. These are just things that people just cooked up. So there's that. But yeah, so like of course like I said, I'm again to disband 21. But yeah, just like um Taehan, him leaving Winner. And to be completely honest with you, I call bullshit. Like I feel like in my heart that this was not on his own accord. Like I honestly feel like YG was like, look, bruh, you holding up the show, you gotta go. Like that's what I feel. Like that's what I feel like what happened. And I know I'm not the only one that feels that way. And it's really unfortunate because, we were supposed to get, all these albums from Winner and we only got one album and it didn't even do all that great because they didn't really promote that well. Like the difference of promotion between their debut, between like the first album to now, completely different. And I mean it's the same with Lehigh when she finally came out after 3 years. Still, I don't think she did really a lot of promotions either. Same with Octa Musician. They didn't promote a lot, but I know they're supposed to come out with an album in January. So, we'll see about that. So yeah, like, and just other stuff with just management issues and stuff like that, and oh lord. So yeah, that's enough for just K-pop company drama. And then next is just basically the curse of the second generation groups. So whether these groups lost members or they just completely disbanded. I mean, 21, Kara, Rainbow, 4 Minute, 2 a.m. You know what I'm saying? Those groups disbanded, but Beast, they just left Cube. They didn't actually like disband. They just left Cube. Secret lost a member. Somehow she left the group. AJ officially left UKIS, even though we knew that he wasn't coming back. I mean, the last time we seen AJ with UKIS was like early 2014, because I think this was like after they did their tour in America, and everyone else went back to Korea. AJ stayed in New York, went back to New York to go to school, and so his main focus was on school, which is fine. But we all know that AJ was not coming back, especially when they brought June into the group months later. Let's see. And Gia left Miss A. So, child, that's just a mess. And it's of course 21 disbanded, but it's just unfortunate that these groups I don't know. It's just so weird that like all these second generation groups are just like kaput. You know what I'm saying? And I worried for After School. Like honestly, like I would be surprised if After School makes it another year, especially the fact that it's supposed to debut Pledis Girls after all this time. So I don't know what the hell's gonna happen to After School, because they haven't had like a group comeback since 2013, 14, if I'm not mistaken. And Orange Caramel hasn't had a comeback since 2014, if I'm not mistaken. So if anything, they would have had at least Orange Caramel. Nothing from them either. So basically, all the other members is just focusing on solo projects. Yui, I know she does acting. Nana, she's doing like her acting and her, commercials and stuff. So they're just basically just doing solo stuff. But yeah, I feel like we definitely aren't going to see anything from After School, especially that like 17 has popped off. And then that they're finally debuting these Pledis Girls. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen with After School. So like I said, I'd be surprised if they last another year. unfortunately. But not just only that, but just other groups that disbanded. 4L, um, 4L had a song 2014. Was it 2014? 2015. But 4L was the song they debuted, a 4-girl rookie group. They debuted with the song "Move," and it sparked a bunch of controversy just because of the video. They were using like lesbians to gain attention, which I don't like. Because we all know that, you know, being gay, you can't be open about it in Korea. Like I've heard so many stories of every time they had Pride in Korea, there's so many people that's like shut down or just trying to like, you know, ruin, you know, Korean, you know, Seoul Pride and stuff like that. Just a whole bunch of drama. So the fact that that company used something that's so looked down upon and just so taboo just to gain traction for the group was a bullshit to me. And then even like one of the members was like, she wasn't even comfortable with the concept, so she ended up leaving because she said that's not what she's comfortable with. She normally does like, she's really just like into cute concepts, so she ended up leaving. So they hadn't had a comeback since then. So I already knew that shit was gonna happen. Global Icon disbanded. I think I know one member had left. I know some people when they first debuted in 2013 with Beatles. No, it was 2013. Yeah, I think 2013. I know there had been like comparisons to like 21 and stuff like that, and I did see Promise with that group, but I think they may have had like one comeback after that. I think they did a song with Doki, but that was basically that. I think LC9 disbanded this year. LC9. I forgot the name of the group, like the full name of the group, but they had debuted around the same time as BTS, and it's funny because when BTS debuted, when like both groups debuted, I was more into BTS. A friend of mine was more into LC9. I'm like, girl, anybody shout for no damn LC9? Because I remember they're supposed to be the brother group of Brown Eyed Girls. I remember their debut song ended up getting banned because the video was so violent and stuff like that. But then like after their debut, like one member went back to Canada, and another member, I think the leader, ended up going to the military. So it went from like 6 to 4. And then they came out with one song after that, but then after that just disbanded because they didn't really do anything after that. So that's unfortunate. Led Apple, but I think they changed their name to Led T or something like that. They ended up disbanding. Speed disbanded too, especially like after Taewoon left Speed to do his solo stuff, and he added a new member, and they did have a comeback last year. But that's basically that, and they ended up disbanding. And another group that I was kind of sad that didn't work out was the Ark, because they had their song that came out last year. It was kind of tribute to the Sewol tragedies that happened in 2014, and I know a lot of people did like them, and I know I've seen stuff, you know, from doing like covers to other groups, so I did see potential with the Ark, but then it's just they didn't really, I feel like they didn't even get a chance to really showcase what they had, and they just completely disbanded the group. And it was like rumors that they're supposed to like rebrand the group or like add more members, some other shit. So that was really unfortunate. Plus they really didn't really give a chance to show people what they got. So yeah, I'm running on 24 minutes, so I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to do a part 2. So I'll be back with part 2.